Hello, Dale the librarian here again. I wanted to talk to you about books. When you're looking at history, in particular, Utah history, but history in general is going to be books heavy because they've been writing on that. It's been a very popular topic for a long time. So how do you get through those things? The databases aren't necessarily the best way to go. This is where you'd use the library catalog. What you could do is put in a bunch of keywords separated by the word and your Boolean operators, Utah and marriage, and you'd get kind of a higgledy-piggledy of things. Sometimes it would be legislation, sometimes public policy, but it might not be that narrative or that secondary source of evidence that you're looking for. Let me show you a way around that if you're getting frustrated with that particular interface. It is the advanced search. When you go to the advanced search, we have millions of books in the Marriott Library, and instead of just typing in Utah and hoping that it grabs something relevant, you can go to where the librarian has boiled down a book into a handful of subjects. And so you know that if the subject here, you can click on any field and select subject. And so you know when you put in Utah here that whatever shows up here, one of the boiled down main features of that particular item, whether it be a book or an article or a DVD, is going to be Utah. That's going to be one of the main topics. But for this one, we wanted to look up books. So we have subject contains Utah, and then we're going to go to material type and select books. You have to scroll up for books for some reason. And then whatever keyword you put in here. Oh, by the way, if you searched right now, you would get all the books on Utah. That'd be fascinating. I'll have to do that. But let's put in a word. I'm going to put in, let's do marriage. So Utah, this is going to capture books, but it's also going to capture, so the subject is Utah, but any field containing marriage. So it might be a chapter of a book. It might be a particular phrase from a description, something from the table of contents. So this isn't, the topic isn't marriage. The topic is Utah. And then marriage might be some featuring thing. That'll make sense in a second. So let's search. I have 128 results, but this goes by what's called a relevancy rating. So there's some algorithm in our catalog that says these are the best ones to go off of. And I would say it's likely that the word marriage shows up more than once, and so it gets bumped up that relevancy rating. If you're interested in something that's been written about since the beginning of our current century, go by date newest. Since it's reliable, since we're in books, it's likely that it's going to be more recent. Here we have something on Utah marriage and divorce laws. That's pretty good. That's in the law library. LGBT Salt Lake, something very contemporary. There's something the University of Utah Press put out that looks like it's historical. How do you get into these things? The world's strongest librarian. I don't know how that came out. I kind of loaded it, didn't I? But if I say, for example, I go into this one, sometimes the table of contents will be just right in that record level, the record being that information about the book, the metadata. I'm letting it do its little screening thing because it's looking for it. Oh yeah, this one has the table of contents. So you can see the first chapter, it looks like narratives. So you might talk with your instructor and see if they are interviewing Catherine Campbell Steele or they're citing Catherine Campbell Steele. Is it a primary source? If you're using Catherine's words, it could be. So this is a good way to potentially find those things that would satisfy the primary source. But there's a lot of information in here. And here we go. Here we have Sarah, a gifted seamstress trapped in an unhappy marriage. Could that be a narrative that you could use in primary or definitely secondary sources? It seems likely. How do you get a hold of these books? Sometimes they're going to be, sometimes it's going to be something that shows up in our general collection. Sometimes you might have to ask at special collections. Sometimes it might be an ebook. Sometimes it might be something that says, we will purchase this for you. If you ever run stuck, email me. My name is Dale Larsen, dale.larsen@utah.edu, and I'm happy to get you connected with whatever source that turns out to be the perfect one. So be resilient and don't give up, and I'm happy to help. Have a good one.